Paging Michael and Colleen. Paging Michael and Colleen.
You're listening to Scrubs Off, Bottoms Up.
Podcast, not that bad, but we need to liven it up some and stop swearing. Love you, kiddo. Dad.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. O'Reilly. Listen, everyone.
We are doing our best.
It was our first episode ever. And listen, yeah, we've had a few bumps along the road, and that might be a little under dramatic for actually how fucking hard it was to get this podcast up and online for all 6 of our subscribers.
Excuse me, Michael. My dad said, please stop with the swearing.
Gosh darn it. This has been a difficult experience.
What in tarnation?
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Scrubs Off, Bottoms Up, episode 2. I'm Michael.
And I'm Colleen.
And cheers and welcome to our shit show of a podcast.
Is this live enough, Dad?
So I think we ended our last podcast on the topic of our Thailand trip.
We did.
And I think we let our listeners, subscribers, viewers, however you may be getting your
Friends.
Scrubs Off, Bottoms Up taste of medicine. I think we let everyone know that, like, you and I had decided you were going to come on this trip and you booked your ticket, and that's about it.
Yeah.
So we decided, because it's such a long trip to get to Asia, and it was Colleen's first time in Asia.
Yes.
Yay. Welcome.
It was the start of
to
my world tour, actually.
Love.
Yes.
It truly. More to come. Stay tuned.
Mhm.
We decided that it would probably be best to actually do a stopover somewhere because it takes about 24 hours, right? So we found tickets on Etihad Airways.
So this is something I don't know if the normal folk knows, is you can book a flight to, so for instance, we were going to Thailand. You can do a stopover, which is technically like a layover, but they pay for your hotel in certain cities
wherever
or
you may
countries.
be, and it's typically like the national airline that does it, and the whole idea is really cool. It's to bring in tourism and money to the economy.
Yeah.
So we decided to take advantage of it, and we
sure
chose
did.
to fly on Etihad Airways because, as some of us may know at this point, but Colleen's king and my boyfriend is a pilot, and we were going to get the opportunity to fly on the Airbus A380, which is one of the largest aircrafts on the market. It's a double-decker aircraft.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway, so we booked this ticket and we decided we're going to spend 24 hours in Abu Dhabi. I had been to the UAE before.
I had never been.
Colleen had never
This
been.
was fully new for me.
So we decided, why the heck not? Let's do it.
Absolutely. So we did.
We did. Our journey began at JFK. So we all met at JFK.
I made a huge mistake. One of the biggest mistakes I've ever made in my life.
Enlighten me, please.
We all meet there, and it's the 4 of us. I was thinking very thoroughly because I was flying with you, with Michael and Nadia, which are like seasoned flyers, right? So I was thinking this through for, the days prior. So I pack my my carry-on for just Abu Dhabi, and then my
Yes.
Yep, my checked bag is for Thailand, because I figured, like, I don't have to open my big bag then. You know what I mean?
Totally.
And
Makes
so
sense.
we get there, and I'm just like really excited. Like, when I get in an airport, I'm just like, no, that was going to be a lie. I'm not that excited. I don't want to be talked to, but I was really excited for this trip.
But Colleen was also coming off working multiple nights.
Oh
in a
my
row.
God. Yes. I worked
so-
like 7 nights in a row
Just to
for
take
this trip. And so
she was
I
a
was
monster. I shared an Uber with Colleen on the way to JFK, and it was one of the most terrifying experiences of my life. But fast forward, scrub past that. We're at the airport.
Okay.
And we actually all decided to book tickets instead of using like our standby or whatever. And we decided that we wanted to check bags because we're going to Thailand. We probably want to get some souvenirs, some clothing made, whatever. So we're all at check-in together, and we're like, okay, we'll go ahead and check our bags, but we just want to make sure.
No. We checked our bags. All of the checked bags are in, right? They're on the belt behind. They are gone. And then I don't know if it was you or Michael that said, "Oh, I just want to make sure we get these bags in Abu Dhabi, right?" And this is actually they go, "Do
It's
you
because
want to check this bag too?" And I'm like, "You know what? Honestly, on a plane, I love having no bags. Like I just want
100%.
my purse. I don't want to have to worry about going in the overhead. I just want to walk on the plane, sit down, put my like
Your sleep mask.
sleep mask on,
Pop
go
a
to
pill,
sleep, don't talk
pass
to me."
out.
So I'm like, "You know what? You guys don't have any checked bags. Like, yeah, I'll throw mine in there." Huge mistake.
And
Huge
the
mistake.
gate agent we thought he was memorable in himself, but I
He
don't know.
had a few qualities that were just
There
like
were just really
true.
key, beautiful characteristics about this
He was a
gentleman.
beautiful man.
Beautiful. Moving on. I had noticed when he printed out our physical boarding passes that they said to BKK, to Bangkok. And I had made the comment, I said, listen, I just want to make sure that we can pull these bags off in Abu Dhabi because we're there for over 24 hours and we're all wearing sweats. We're going to the Middle East. It's going to be hot.
It's like
And I'm
how
going to want
long
to
was the
change.
flight? A long time.
It was like 14 hours or
well,
something.
and also
yeah.
we're going to Abu Dhabi. Like me and Nadia needed to be fully covered in order to go see the
Totally.
places that we wanted to see. So we couldn't be
They had to be very
like
modest.
girls understand is like you have an airport like fit. Like you know what is going to be comfortable. I'm not wearing my best bra. I'm in
You wanna
my
be
comfiest.
comfy.
I have like girls understand. It changes. I'm just saying. But this man looked us in the eye,
Directly in the eyes.
like made eye contact with
Singular
us.
eye contact.
Know that he had double on everybody, and said, "Yeah, just let them know to pull the bags."
To pull the bag.
And we said, "Thank you, sir."
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Little did we know he was a fucking liar.
A big, big liar.
The biggest liar that you could. I actually can't even get into it because I hate this man. But at the end of the story,
At the end of
it
the day,
was for security reasons, and I understand and I respect it. I
but
just
we
wish
didn't
we were
get
told
our bags.
at the beginning because I had a bag planned. Okay,
We all had outfits planned for
you
this.
don't wear a bra. You have no idea. Me and Nadia, when we get there, we're like, we don't have underwear. We don't have a bra. We actually need to be
You're in your Dr. Scholl's.
I'm in my Dr. Scholl's. Like there is no. We actually need to cover our ankles, and I'm
Totally.
wearing like biker shorts. Like we can't do anything now.
It
so
was just
we're
a shit
thinking,
show from touchdown.
oh my god! But I will say, we didn't fight.
No.
Like, that was prime example of
why you love to travel with me.
no, truly. Like that is like
Same.
when you get faced with the worst when you're traveling, like how someone travels when something
tells
goes
a
wrong.
lot about
tells
them.
a lot about the person.
Okay, so total segue, super quick. I always said I knew Michael was probably the one once we finally traveled together because you learn a lot about a person when you travel with them. How they interact with gate agents and airport personnel, how they interact with humans who check their brains when they check their suitcase, and just how you deal with the stress that flying throws at you.
Because there is always a problem at the airport, which I understand. When you think about it, I understand. Totally. I get it. But it's how you deal with it. When people that like go wild at the airport over like
a delay,
a 20-minute delay, I cannot relate to.
No,
I'm sorry.
Not at all. Getting back to the story.
Oh, yeah.
So
sorry.
We're realizing time is dwindling down. We get sent from desk to desk to desk and, oh, let's talk to a manager to find out, like, because of customs and them needing to screen our bags, we actually can't get our bags until 24 hours after we've landed, but we're leaving in less than 24 hours, so it makes no sense. So I'm on WhatsApp messaging this driver and I'm like, hey, like, we need to push back to 3:30. Hey, we need to push back to 4.
So we had a reservation, not a reservation, but we had we were going to the sand dunes or whatever.
Yeah, we were going dune bashing.
Let's say
it was
2
o'clock.
It was it?
It was 2 o'clock, yeah.
And then we had a reservation for dinner at 8
p.m.
or 9.
Yep.
And so we were on tight. We were only there for like a short period of time. So everything got pushed back. But they basically said like we couldn't do it.
Yeah, the driver was like, I'm so sorry, but like the sun's gonna be setting, and we were like,
My
absolutely not.
lifelong
We are going to make this work
no.
for Colleen.
So I pulled Michael aside and I said, "Listen, nobody has to come with me. I will go by myself, but I like need to ride a camel." Like that was like one of my top things to do on this trip is like I just
She essentially said she needed her camel to touch a camel physically in life. No shit. That was her reasoning was, I need this camel to touch a camel.
Me and the camel had one thing in common.
And we'll leave it up.
No, that's not what I said. But
Sure.
okay, so I just want to ride a camel. I've always wanted to ride a camel. I went on a date once and I lied to this man. He was from the Middle East. The doctor at the hospital. We went on the date and he made a joke. Yeah. Made a joke that because he was from the Middle East and he was like, yeah, we have cars there. Like, we don't just ride camels. And I was like, haha. And I didn't know if he was being serious or not. And I was like, yeah, I've ridden a camel before. I've never ridden a camel. So it's been my lifelong dream to fucking ride a camel.
And we made sure that Colleen was going to get to ride that camel. Long story short.
Wait,
because
no,
it's been
no.
very long.
This is probably the longest story of Thailand. So hang in tight, guys.
Oh, I don't know about that. But
We
bring it
order
on.
an Uber because we now have to go to a store to figure out how we need clothes.
We had no clothing. We had the sweats on us. It's 100+ degrees out Fahrenheit. Like
me and
needed clothes.
Nadia cannot go.
What
out.
we decided cumulatively as a group is we needed one location where we could spend approximately 13 to 15 minutes, not try clothes on, and be back in an Uber with clothes not only for the desert but for dinner, and do it all successfully. And where did we sign? Oh, and we were going to a mosque, so it had to be modest.
We all had to. It was like there were strict guidelines. When he says, what was it, 11 to 13 minutes? Like, I'm not kidding. It was 11 to 13 minutes. We all pulled up our timers. Actually, let me take it back. We order an Uber to H&M, right?
H&M.
H&M.
The only store we knew that had clothing for all.
It has shoes, bras, underwear, clothing, everything.
Supposedly for cheap, at least in the US.
Not
in the UAE, baby.
So we order an Uber that brings us there. We get out and it is a strip mall. Like an outside, nothing's open.
Oh, it's Ramadan, by the way. Nothing's
No one's around.
open during the day.
So we are standing there. I don't know how to insert a photo, but if we could insert a photo, I will right here.
Hold it on my hand. Standing on the side of the street.
Literally. We're standing on the side of the road, have no idea. The guy just let us out. We were like, where's H&M? He was like, I don't know. We get out and we're standing there.
And we're in BFE.
There is no H&M.
No.
So we are on this time limit. We're like, okay, we're going to the mall. We all had to cumulatively come together and say, okay, no dilly-dallying.
None.
Like when you are
No
in a
trying
mall,
clothing
obviously
on.
you're like dilly-dallying. There's like lots of stores
One
and
stop,
stuff.
one stop only.
That's it.
And it's we pray to God there's an H&M at this mall because it says there is. And the last time they said there was one, there wasn't.
So that I have a problem with that. We get there. There's an H&M.
And it is, what's that like guys grocery games on the Food Network where it's like you get X amount of time to get all of the groceries that you need, or like Chopped. It's like I'm like sweating bullets at this point. I'm like, I don't know what size I am in the UAE, but I am just going to hold shit up to me, and hopefully it is modest enough for the mosque, nice enough for a Michelin star dinner, and cool enough to wear in the desert. And it was literally 13 minutes.
Literally, when I tell you, I thought Tyra Banks was coming out. Like 100%. I thought we were on America's Next Top Model.
It was a go see.
You have no idea. We all had our phones out. We're like, go, run. No one talked. We run. You were at the checkout the fastest.
I was quick.
Me and Nadia were like trying to figure out like, is this okay? Like because we had to get like a lot of stuff actually. And can I say, I do have my H&M bra on right now.
It must be comfy.
One of the
She's
best
supportive.
bras I have ever purchased in my life.
Shout out H&M. We'd love a bra brand deal.
No.
In case you're listening.
I was really upset because, like girls understand. You got to like stay. No. when I put this on, I was like, this was the best. I don't ever sleep in a bra, and I slept in that bra that
Wait,
night.
that's incredible.
I know.
Shout out UAE H&M.
Okay.
Let's fast forward to the part where none of us knew how much money we spent. We all just put it
No.
on an Amex, whatever. We're sprinting through. And the dollar to UAE money
I didn't even
ratio
look.
is, we had no idea.
We were there
So
for
we
20
get in the Uber
hours.
and we're rushing back to our hotel to change, where the driver's been sitting there for like 20 minutes already waiting to take us out.
God bless
Because we
him.
begged him. We're like, listen, you can cut out the dune bashing. We just need to see a camel, whatever.
All I needed was the camel.
And we're starting to open up our Amex bills, and I go, holy shit. How did I spend $400 at H&M on a pair of pants, a pair of shorts, and 2 shirts?
Mhm.
Colleen, what was your grand total?
It was like $800.
To then find out that you cannot return those items in the
No, you
United
can't.
States of America. So,
And that was your fault.
you know what?
You told me I could.
I thought we could, but guess what?
It doesn't
We
matter.
helped
I-
the economy in the UAE, baby.
Which is what
And
they
your camel
wanted.
touched a camel. And
But
cut.
stop over.
Everyone should go on a stopover. We had a great time. Could you not tell?
But they'll get you.
They will get
They'll
you.
get you.
Okay, so that was on the way to Thailand. We finally the next day make it to Thailand, and it's a movie scene. It is so beautiful. The people are incredible. We are already a little apprehensive about drinking the water,
I was
drinking
not.
the ice. You know, I actually had pre-prescribed antibiotics because, listen, I've got some tummy issues occasionally, and I was going to make sure that if I had anything from the water, like, I was not going to be ill the entire trip. So the most prepared human on this trip is myself.
He
And
legitimately would get a cocktail with no ice.
yeah, truly. And the most scared person of getting sick on this trip ended
Yeah.
up getting the most sick. Hi, my name's Michael Ryan Aronowitz, and I nearly died in Koh Samui, Thailand. So I knew when I had gotten up that morning that this was going to be not pretty, but I was going to try everything in my being to fight through the day. Everyone was going to
I had no idea what I was in for that day.
And I had asked Michael, and then I had texted Colleen separately, and I said, hey, can you please get Saucy was her name. Can you please get the villa manager, and can we see if there's anyone that can come and give me an IV? I know I'm down for the count. I think I have Thai belly or food. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I know that I am depleting every ounce of fluid out of my body between the sweat, the vomit, and the shit.
And mind you, we were on a boat the day before having a blast. It was actually, boat day was one of the best days
Incredible.
of my life.
So good.
So I was like, you're hungover, babe. Like, you're hungover.
But little did Colleen know that I had not consumed a sip of alcohol after noon.
I had no idea what I was getting myself into that day.
It was bad. Very bad.
When he wasn't coming out for dinner is when I knew.
Breakfast.
Things were, no, the night before, when you didn't come to
Okay,
dinner.
okay, fair.
I knew things were not going well. Then when he didn't come out for breakfast, I was like, we have a problem here. Like, he doesn't miss 2 meals. Like, he's
a
not
hungry boy.
Especially there. Like, we had the best food we can.
We had a private chef. It was incredible.
Oh my God. And he was incredible. However, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to go check on him. So I go and he's laying in bed doing nothing, just like laying there, eyes closed. And I'm like, okay, babe, why don't we just like try to sit up? Like, let's just try. If you can't do it, then that'll be the decision maker. Like, no elephants for you.
Okay.
So I'm being so kind. I put my hand behind his neck. I'm just holding his leg and I'm like, 25, 45 degrees. We get to 90 degrees. He is pale. He goes, go away. Runs out of the bed, behind the bed, goes to the bathroom. Head is in the sink. And I'm like, okay, Michael, the drama's over. Like, this is unnecessary.
Honey, there was no drama at this point.
you do
I
not
felt like
want-
I was dying.
I just thought you didn't want to go see the elephants. I'm like, you don't have to go.
Oh my God. And there was nothing more that I wanted.
Until he looks at me and he's like, I'm going to throw up. Head goes back, smacks his head.
I don't even remember smacking my head.
Smacks his head on the faucet and starts vomiting in the sink. And I was like, oh my God, one, this man's going to get a concussion, going to die on us. And we're not going to the hospital here. I go, okay, we'll get into the shower. So I get him in the shower. I turn the shower on and I'm like, smack your head all you want. I get like cloths. I'm like, do whatever you have to. Like,
I have
this man is having an exorcism.
I have flashbacks from the shower moment. I was in doggy, yes, on all fours, ladies and gentlemen, puking my brains out from my mouth and my asshole. The next thing I know, Colleen has turned on the shower and it's freezing cold water, which honestly felt amazing at the
I
time,
know.
until the water stopped because there was a massive monsoon on Koh Samui that took out water and power that day.
He's in the shower. We get him back. He's not, having anything
not
coming out of
active.
his
Yeah.
body anymore. So there is a monsoon. We go to the elephants. It's like perfect timing for us. The three of us, we go to the elephants.
And the villa manager had finally gotten a hold of a doctor or somebody. We thought somebody with an IV was going to come and assess me.
Yes.
I'm laying at the house. Two very, very young and adolescent women show up with a huge red vest on that says emergency and an AED. For those of you who don't know what an AED is, that is a cardiac defibrillator for when you die. And I know that shit is getting real, but I've never been so thankful to see modern medicine in my life. So they're there, they're taking my vitals, and nobody really speaks a word of English. So I'm trying to tell them, I'm like, yep, I'm a nurse. This is what happens. We did leave out the fact that I actually had sun poisoning at this point as well. So I had this raised red rash all over my abdomen, my chest, my back. Things were not looking good. So they take my labs. One of the little girls, I'm sorry if you're actually older than adolescent, but you looked like a child to me, runs my labs. They come back, they say, oh, you have a high white blood count. And I'm like, oh, great. So I have an infection in Thailand too. They end up treating me. Fluids go in and they start running through this list on a phone with somebody in Thai. And basically what they ended up telling me is I was getting injectable medications. At that point, I had never been more happy to get stuff inserted into my veins to make me feel better.
I will give you credit. Like, you said no to some of it.
I did say no to some because I showed them.
Mind
I said,
he is alone at the villa.
There's
completely
no-
alone. We are doing the mudslide with the elephants. Like, I'm having the time of my life. I'm like, oh, poor Michael's
I'm
not
alone.
here.
There's no Wi-Fi for Google Translate because there was a
No.
monsoon. The air conditioning is now off in the entire villa, and they don't know when it's going to come back on. It's approximately 98 degrees Fahrenheit out with 140 fucking % humidity, and fluid is leaving my body at a rapid rate. Long story, even fucking shorter. I rallied later that night. Whatever injectable medications these two adolescent but
We'll talk
very
about another
highly
day.
trained women gave me
It worked.
resuscitated
It
me and
worked.
brought me back to life. A few days go by and we end up.
You were better the
I
next
was
day.
the next day. I felt significantly better.
Yeah, because we were leaving to go to Bangkok.
They pumped me full of quote unquote injectable medications. I have never been more happy in my
No.
life. We prep. We go to Bangkok. We're spending a few days in Bangkok, and I think it was the second day we're there. Michael decides that he really wants to go to this train market and this floating market that are about 3 hours away from Bangkok where we're staying. None of us want to go. We just want to enjoy time by the pool.
did.
And we're
Michael, if you are listening, I wanted to go.
So we're staying at this beautiful luxury resort and we're like, we don't need to leave. And they're like, the only way you can make this happen is you have to pay for a private guide, a private van, and you have to leave at 7 a.m. We're exhausted at this
Mind
point.
you, we have been traveling for like 7 days now, getting up every single day, having things to do. Like, we are exhausted, but we don't want to miss a thing.
So we cumulatively together as a group, and some of us reluctantly say, fuck it.
That was the
We're
first
going on the
fight.
tour. That was the first and only
And
fight.
we
It
didn't-
wasn't
we
even a
didn't
fight.
We didn't fight.
It consisted
But
of Michael
that
walking away
was-
from us and being like, well, we're doing it.
And I was with Michael.
So we go the next day. It's early, but we're all excited. We get to this really amazing train market where they essentially come out from these huts on the railroad tracks and sell goods until the train comes through town. And you physically have to go like into the stalls in the hut so you don't get hit by the train. We're sitting there, and I had been recovered for a few days at this point, so I thought I was in the clear.
No, it was 2 days.
It was 2 days. I had been
a day
recovered
and
for
a
2 days. Whatever, I was fine. And so all of a sudden, I'm like, Anchi was our guide. And I said, hey, Anchi, like, is there a restroom nearby? And she's like, could you hold it? The restroom's here, quite literally a hole in the ground. And I would
She-
like to take you to like a gas station or
And
something.
she got confused as well because you and Michael have the same name. And we were telling her that the day before, Michael had tried jumping squids.
Jumping shrimp. And
Yes.
my Michael K,
Oh,
was eating like live jumping shrimp at the night market. And of course, this man doesn't get sick from
he has a stomach of steel.
a stomach of
obviously.
steel.
These
It's Polish stomach.
jumping things were on my foot. They jumped into your
I mean,
bag.
there were literally like
it
thousands of
was-
jumping shrimp that were
Oh my
alive
God.
that he was eating.
Yeah.
So she's a little confused, but she's like, okay, fine. Can you make it? I'm like, sure. We pull over and we're at like a 7-Eleven or something, which are huge in Thailand. Love them. Love 7-Eleven in Thailand. They take me outside and there's a hole in the ground. And I was like, you know what? When in Rome, aka Thailand, blow my brains out. I'm gonna let you put two and two together. And all of a sudden I'm like, holy shit, no pun intended, but I feel significantly better. We have an hour and a half drive to go to a floating market after this, to then spend the rest of the day on boats in a floating market. I get back to the van after nearly having yet another exorcism. These happen frequently if we're catching on to common themes here. And Angie had given me a bottle of Sprite and she said, I put salt in it. Salt and Sprite cures Thai belly. It's like commonly what they do. At this point, I'm like, give me whatever as long as I don't feel the way I just did. Great.
And she was like a mother.
She was like a mother. So sweet.
Like she
invited
just,
us
like,
to dinner at our
loved
house,
us.
like loved us. And
Yeah.
she's like kind of concerned for me at this point.
You
Nothing
can
over the
tell.
top.
Yeah.
But she's like, here, I bought this for you with my own money. And I was like, great, thank you so much. I really appreciate the
Like, I love
hospitality.
you.
So I drink about a quarter of this and I'm sitting in the back and I was feeling better. I felt like $1,000,000. And the next thing I know, it is the biggest drop in my stomach. It felt like a roller coaster of gas going all the way to the, and I was like, oh
Goodness.
oh God, this is Bridesmaids, but in Thailand. So I can't even say a word. I am gripping the seat in the bus, like literally gripping the seat, super tense, white. I am sweating from head to toe in this bus. And Nadia looks at her and goes, stop the van immediately. He's not well.
Thank God for Nadia.
Thank God for
because
Nadia.
I am the opposite
Ooh.
of I will
Ooh.
cover it up.
I have never felt a feeling inside of me. If anyone has seen Gremlins, I know I'm probably aging myself. When that gremlin comes out of the stomach, is that movie?
I
don't know.
what you're talking
Maybe
about.
I'm making it up. There was something coming out of me at a rapid rate. So we pull over at another 7-Eleven. It's closed. We pull over at a gas station. It's closed. Nadia's like, this is a 911 emergency. Get him out of this car now. Something's going to happen. So
But Angie, she was on a mission. She knew what she was doing. We just had to trust her. She couldn't tell us what she was doing.
Totally.
She goes, hold on. I got this covered.
So we pull over at a shack on the side of the road. Barely a shack. And she goes and knocks. Knock, 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 knock. And this woman opens the door and Angie starts speaking to her in Thai. I don't speak a lick of Thai, but you can clearly tell that I am extremely unwell at this point. So they usher me to the back of the house. There's a man on the concrete floor chopping up what appears to be a goat with about 5 what look like stray dogs barking at me the entire time, and they just point to the left. And I
Mind
knew
you, he is alone.
I knew that they knew this white boy had Thai belly. So I go into their, if you could call it a restroom.
It was a restroom.
It was a
their
restroom. It was their restroom, and it had a hole in the ground
to rest.
and a trash bucket full of water with a Shein version looking Mickey Mouse painted water bucket.
Pale.
And I look down this hole and I really think about my life and I am sweating bullets. And I said, if things were different, I would not be doing this, but I have no choice. And I let loose.
Yep. You did.
The dogs are barking, the goat's getting chopped, and I am creating thunder and lightning in this bathroom. And all of a sudden I realize, oh shit, they don't have toilet paper here. So
Yep.
Mickey Mouse from Shein
Yep.
splashed my ass
Mhm.
until I was clean. 5 minutes later, I come out back to the van, soaking wet with Mickey Mouse water, and off we went to the floating market. Thank you so much, everyone, for hearing my story of Thai belly. I don't recommend.
I appreciate your vulnerability. I think that was really tough.
Yeah.
I remember hearing the dogs barking and all of the audio. I was just standing outside of our van and I heard everything and it was horrifying to hear. I thought you got killed
And
at first.
to my new Thai family that adopted me and let me use their restroom, I
God
am
bless.
so
That is
gracious and thank you for truly what I thought saved my life at that
all
moment.
jokes aside.
The
When we talked about it on our way back,
Thai people are so hospitable.
I have
It's
never
incredible.
met such. Everybody was just so ready to take care of you that it was the nicest thing I have ever experienced. Like the fact that she just went up, knocked on the door, and you were able to take care of your business in peace.
Totally.
I mean, it wasn't, how you wanted to. You'd
Of
rather
course
be at
not.
home, obviously.
In air
But,
conditioning.
Like, and
Yeah.
have toilet paper.
And toilet
like,
paper,
Minnie Mouse
maybe a
is,
bidet.
kind of like gross. I don't like
Yeah.
Disney, but like.
But it was a cultural experience, and
But that
I
was really,
wouldn't
really kind.
I would trade that experience, but
No, I would not.
a lot of people got a
Hearing
kick out
the
of
dog
this.
when I hear knock 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 and then I see him vanish and then I hear dogs barking, I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Like, is he being like, what is it called with like the pigs? When you
Slaughtered?
yeah, I mean, like, no, when you have a pig on a stake and they go over the fire.
Oh, spit roasted.
Yeah, I'm like,
I think
Michael's
that's a
being
sex thing.
spit roasted.
Wait, no, I think
Oh.
that's a sex thing. What
I'm just
we have
talking about
issues
like
with whatever.
okay.
Rotisserie chicken at Costco.
He's
You get the
alive.
point. I'm
Yeah.
alive. I made it.
Sorry, Dad.
Thailand was really comical for everyone, and I'm happy that we had such a great trip. And honestly, I would totally redo it. The Thai people were super hospitable.
Yeah.
The injectable medications, Anchi, Saucy, the adolescent doctors, the random family who let me into their home, to probably make my mark quite literally for life. I thank you.
So I guess like talking on the topic of like international healthcare, I don't really have much to say. Like I've had a few friends who when we have been like on international trips, like we've had great experiences and I hope it's the same like if others are like coming to America where we work.
Yeah, I don't
But like I think it's like I don't know enough about it and I would love to learn about it. But you were treated extremely well.
I was.
And I know it wasn't a hospital setting. It was an at home.
We had the luxury of having a concierge experience with it. And yeah, I paid the price for it. And at the end of the day,
you were
trusted
treated well.
my gut. And even though my gut was not trusting me and what food it had eaten, but it ended up working out. So I think that traveling internationally, it's important to know what types of illnesses people get when they go to these countries.
Yeah,
and
maybe that's something that is something we can look into because I actually genuinely have like nothing to give to that conversation. I have had a few experiences where friends of mine or whoever I'm traveling with have had to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
Specifically my roommate, my best friend. We go skiing in Austria. I don't ski. She grew up in the mountains, so she skis well, but she is teaching me how to ski. What's it called when you lose everything?
Yard sailed.
Oh, I yard sailed the whole way down. And this poor girl, and I'm running into brick walls. I'm running into people.
Because there's brick walls on the mountain?
It was concrete, actually, not brick wall.
Okay.
However, but what I'm trying to say is we were like reckless skiing in Austria, St. Anton, shout out. Best.
That was not your best vacation ever because you already said Thailand was.
Yeah, I think I lied. I think St. Anton was my best trip, but that's because I fell in love with the Dutch, and you know I love Dutchmen. I fell in love with the Dutchman, Timothy. Come to mama.
Timothy.
It's Timothy. It's Timothy.
Okay, we need to find you a Timothy.
Anybody who is Dutch.
Tall, blonde hair, blue-eyed.
No, dark hair, light eyes.
Okay, exotic.
Yes. Oh my God. I fell in love with 2 Dutch men in my whole entire life. His name was Tomas. Met him in Prague. The other one was Timothy. I met him in St. Anton. So if you're listening, come back, baby. I love you. I miss you.
Moving on.
So
The
what
story was
happened
about Christine.
Okay, so we're doing like the afters, whatever, and she fell on a champagne bottle. I have a video. Right?
Oh, you
Of
have a
her
video of
with
it?
a machete.
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 Like a
machete.
to like pop the
To
top
pop
off.
the top off.
Ooh, that's
And
not a
then
good
I
combination.
have a video of her dripping blood, right? So, like we said at the beginning, nurses, healthcare workers, we always dumb down things. So she's dripping blood. She has a pile of blood by her feet. And I'm like, you're fine. We're leaving tomorrow.
Really quick, by dumb down, do you mean we don't use our brain cells when we're outside of the hospital? Because
No.
why on God's green earth did she have a machete and a bottle of champagne and was drinking on top? I mean, just I'm connecting 2 + 2 does
You're
not always equal
misunderstanding,
4.
babe.
Okay.
So she had a machete because she was opening the champagne bottle.
Okay,
like,
amazing.
That's
Well,
like very
cute.
logistic. Like logistically, that's like very logical.
Are you having a stroke?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't see the problem with
Okay,
that.
fine. I understand.
Okay.
I speak your
Dumb
language.
down in the sense of if she is bleeding from her hand, I say, okay, put a Band-Aid on it. Let's
No
call
big
it
deal.
a day.
Yeah,
We
cool.
call her mom. She we call her mom, and her mom gets on the phone and she's like, Colleen, she has to go to the emergency room. And I'm like, okay. Like if a mom says
If a mom
it,
says you
if a
can't
mom
fight it,
says it,
you
that
cannot
is
fight
the
it.
truth because we're useless.
Moms rule the world.
And I'm not a nurse when I'm not in the hospital. End of story.
Fair.
So we go to the emergency room. There's no one there. Beautiful hospital. And we are leaving in the morning. Poor Christine. Oh my God. This girl. We go there. They take an x-ray. They won't let me back. And they're talking in like
Austrian?
German. It's
Okay.
like sounds
Like-
very like German, very direct.
Okay, so whatever languages they speak in Austria.
Yeah, I don't know.
Going on.
No, we were in Switzerland at this. We had to go to Switzerland to go. It was a whole process.
Okay, fair.
So we get there and they basically just say, like, I can't go in the back. And I'm fighting that a little bit. Christine's mom's on the phone and she's like, don't fight this. I'll stay on the phone. I'm like, okay. So I'm sitting there and I'm like at the vending machine, not knowing what to do. I make like TikToks for myself. I'm like hammered. And poor Christine comes out and she has stitches all across. And I'm like, what took so long? Do they really not know how to do stitches here? This has been like 5 hours that we've been here. Like, what is the deal? Couldn't they just
totally.
stitch it up? But this girl hit an artery. And God bless. I don't remember the hospital that we were at, but God bless them for noticing that and like x-raying her before. And
Totally.
because
That could have been really serious.
oh my God, we got on the plane the next day and they didn't make it pretty. Like it was bloody. It was disgusting. We get on the plane and we're like,
We just need to make it home at
because
this point.
they told us before we got to, like before we left, they said, don't let them see this because there's a possibility they won't let you on the plane.
Okay, that was nice of them.
And we both
I
had like
suppose.
we had work the
Yeah.
next like whenever. And so we were like, okay, no, we're getting on the plane. So we're like hiding it behind her and she like I'm holding all of our bags.
Okay,
It was a
yeah.
disaster. And she like showed her hand and one of the flight attendants goes, "Oh honey, you're not sitting on the plane like that," and brings her to the back. And I've never seen like the first aid kit on the airplane.
Oh,
I've
they're
always
incredible.
wanted
Yeah.
I have always wanted to see it.
They're luxury.
Oh my God. They beautiful.
Oh, that's
stunning.
so
They were the
sweet.
nicest people I've
What airline was that?
Swiss Air.
Shout out Swiss Air.
No, seriously. It
That's
was
incredible.
like the kindest thing. And we took her stitches out a few days later and she's okay.
Love you, Christine.
Yeah, we do.
With that being said, it is roughly my bedtime. Papa's got to go to sleep. Papa has to
Oh,
work tomorrow.
Mama's got stuff to do.
Do you?
Go to
Well-
bed.
I feel like
We're
I feel
trying.
like there might be a little bit more, and I cannot wait to hear about your shenanigans and your late night activities on the next episode of Scrubs Off.
Bottoms up, baby.
Cheers.